Welcome riding buddies. This week I'm going to show you the trickiest, coolest bike I have ever covered here on John's Motorcycle Mania. We're going to have a look at Anthony Gunter's 1981 Kawasaki KX500SR. If you're unsure what a SR is, it stands for Special Racer. Yes, it is a true factory works bike. This was Kawasaki's version of a Honda RC or Yamaha's OW. Riders like Brad Lackey raced Kawasaki SRs. Obviously Bad Brad didn't in 1981 as he was on Suzuki in 81 and 82. I did get an awesome interview with the legend himself telling me about his SR. Unfortunately, I had issues with the audio on the recording, so I have had to improvise. I will have to tell the story of this very cool bike myself. Very sorry about that. While you're here, be sure to subscribe to John's Motorcycle Mania and drop a like for our video. It's a proven fact that subscribing to John's Motorcycle Mania will help you rail the nastiest ruts you could ever imagine. Anthony is happy to show this bike at different events. This is actually the second time I've seen this masterpiece. I first saw it at Mountain Man for the 40th anniversary in 2015. It amazed me then as much as now. So Anthony Gunter, or Grunt as he was called, won so many races in the few years leading up to 1981. That's why Kawasaki went headhunting for him to race their 500 SR in 1981. In 1981, Anthony Gunter was nearly untouchable on his trick Kawasaki. He took out the 500 Nationals, King of the Cross, 500 Victorian title, Mountain Man, and almost everything else he rode in. The only major event he raced but didn't take out was Mr. Motocross. But he did take out Mr. Motocross in 1976, 77 and 79. To start out, the SR frame was hand TIG welded. As you would expect, the highest quality chromoly steel tubing was handcrafted to hold all the special bits together. The hand-built frame held and supported hand-machined billet triple clamps. Just these alone are a work of art. Back then, not even the cool works bikes had much adjustment with offsets and such. Of course, mounted into the clamps were very trick forks with billet legs. Compared to today, they were nothing special. But in 1981, these things were so far ahead of production units, they might as well have been pasta. The frame also supported a handmade swing arm out the back. This was adjustable for ride height, depending on what the rider wanted. In Anthony's words, he had it set on the lowest due to his height. I can relate to that. The chain adjusters are cam-style tensioners instead of the usual bolt system. Just these alone were so cool with the pinch bolts locking everything together. While out the back, check out the rear shock. Billet remote reservoir fitted to a very impressive, for the time, shock. The rear, all the suspension on this thing was state of the art for the time. Anthony did say that there was a lot of time spent setting the suspension up, but once done it tracked true and straight and could handle anything he asked of it. Even the wheel hubs were billet front and rear and laced into gold rims. I reckon this is how wheel sets should look. Modern black rims look okay, but gold anodizing is my pick any day. Just check out the new 50th anniversary Honda CRFs. Maybe gold rims will come back. A drum rear brake as expected out the back. But up the front, this was the first year of a disc brake. The production KX420 still maintained the drum brake up front. Actually, the 81 420 didn't look anything like the SR. Would be interesting to know what components were shared. If you know what parts were shared between the two bikes, let me know. I get the feeling the list will be very short. The engine is like all works bikes, sandcast and a work of art. There were a few versions available as far as capacities were concerned, but Anthony told me he just ran the full 500 setup. What did surprise me was when Grunt told me there was very little magnesium, mainly alloy. Gearbox was a 4-speed while the production bike was a 5. On the stator side of the engine, I noticed it looked a bit strange. Then Anthony told me it was so the ignition timing was adjustable from the outside, making it so easy to set up for different conditions. A lot of engine fasteners were titanium when they first received the bike from the factory, but they had issues with titanium cylinder nuts coming loose, so they ended up using steel replacements. Getting the burnt gas out of the big two-stroke was obviously a factory crafted pipe. Anthony told me he had a choice of 2 different pipes to choose from, depending on what suited the track they were at. The fuel tank on any bike is visually a very noticeable part. The big green tank is a hand-built aluminium masterpiece, not the plastic of the production bikes. Anthony pointed out the fabrication marks in the tank. All worlds were exposed, and this together shows the hand-built factor about it. So cool. Anthony's SR was one of only 3 to come to Australia and one of only a handful built by Kawasaki. It took until 1983 for the production KX500 to come to life, so we could all go out and buy the bike that Anthony Gunter was so dominant on in 1981. At least it looked like his bike.
You can rock. You can roll. So put your shoes on, woman, and let me know it's time to go. We hit it once, we hit it twice. Alright. The way we rock, the way we roll, all night. We hit it once, we hit it twice. Alright. The way we rock, the way we roll, all night. The way you're rocking from behind, it really drives me wild. When you walk around the place and shake it in my face, when you give me that look and read me like a book, well, let me tell you, woman, I'm about to lose control. We hit it once, we hit it twice. Alright. The way we rock, the way we roll, all night. We hit it once, we hit it twice. Alright. The way we rock, the way we roll, all night.
Thank you so much to Anthony for talking with me about this piece of Australian motocross history. If you ever get the chance to talk to him about the bike, do so. I'm very sorry that I was not able to show you the actual video I did with Anthony, but you get that on the big job sometimes. If you've not been to the Conondale Classic weekend, this bike is some of the very special machines you missed out on. You need to get along to this event. Thank you to the Facebook groups that allow me to share my videos and all of you for watching. This will be my final video from the Conondale Classic weekend, but I have many other videos in the pipeline. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like before you leave, as this really helps out the channel. You may even like that video that has popped up on your screen as well. Now it's there, you might as well click on it and check it out. I'll catch you next time.